Hello everyone, it's Johnny Come Late here. No, it's Leo Diaz here. And people have been talking about the Steam Machine and I didn't. And I wanted to give my 2 cents to this conversation just to, put some ideas out there for people who are interested in this and for the people who are interested in my opinion. So, the Steam Machine is, you know, Valve's official release of hardware to play the games on their store. This comes, of course, with after the release of the Steam Deck. It's a very similar proposition. This is the TV one. This is the console one. The Steam Deck is a handheld. It's completely different in the sense that you cannot build a handheld. You cannot go to some store and just buy a bunch of parts and build your own gaming handheld. It doesn't work like that. So you need someone to come out with this hardware to have a handheld. And Steam did that. Don't forget that Steam did that not first, but they were the first to come to market with something that was really polished and really well done and affordable, because the stuff that was available before, these GPD Win sort of things, they were either very underpowered or very expensive. And so Steam, Valve, they found a good midterm, a good spot there, released it to great success. Right now, that's also too expensive. So it's not, I mean, it's interesting. The Steam Deck released, let's take a look here. Right now it's this, right? It's only the OLED model, the other one is out, but the cheapest one is 780 euros. I don't know, dollars. You can take a look for yourself. It used to be 550 or something like that for that model, I think. So, okay, so the important thing about the Steam Machine is that it is just a PC. It's just a mini PC that comes with SteamOS pre-installed. What you're looking at right now, okay, is not my Windows PC running something, okay? It is my Lenovo notebook, okay? And it is running Bazzite, which is not really a fork of SteamOS. It's not an unofficial SteamOS. It's a different thing, but there is the taskbar. And this is a different distribution. It's based on a different kernel, I think, and different ways of doing things, but it works just like SteamOS. And actually, I'm pretty sure SteamOS now also supports, like the official SteamOS now supports AMD GPUs. So, and this is running NVIDIA, by the way. So I'm doing this on NVIDIA. I only had a couple games that didn't work properly. Most games worked. I played Dragon's Dogma, Dark Souls 3, a bunch of different PC games and emulation but mostly Steam and GOG. I play on here, and even the GOG, there is this heroic program that logs into my GOG account and manages everything as if I was in GOG, but it's not directly on the GOG Galaxy client. It's something different. So I already have a Steam machine. Like, my notebook is a Steam machine. It is already a PC running not SteamOS but Bazzite. It's the same thing. It runs the same way. And you can do that. You can buy a PC and install SteamOS or install Bazzite. And there is even a different distribution also that does more or less the same thing. And just use it like that. with a controller, with any controller you want, with the Steam controller, with a different one. So what's the point of the Steam machine? Well, the point is, one, it comes pre-installed with SteamOS, and another PC probably will not come pre-installed. How hard is it to install? It's pretty easy. But, some people don't know how to use Balena Etcher or something like that. So so you might have a problem for installing this. And of course, there is the form factor. This is small. They don't make it very clear what this is. I'm taking a look here. This is a Zen 4 6-core 12-thread. This would be a Ryzen 5 7600, I guess, more or less, but underclocked. And I know that the GPU is notebook RX 7600 again. Graphic cards, 7600M graphics cards that have been underclocked to run even slower. So a desktop 7600 runs a lot faster than this. The 9060 XT, which is the newest AMD GPU, is a lot better than this, considerably better. I don't think it's twice as good, but it's, I guess, 50% better, something like that. And so even an entry-level RTX 5060 or for the NVIDIA side or the AMD side, the RX 9060, they will still be more powerful than the Steam machine. And as you can see, you have 16 gigs of DDR5. And so, yeah, you can buy more or less a similar PC for a similar price. You would probably buy something better for more money, because that would be more worthwhile, because you would be, not buying a great computer for 1,000, because you would not get an RTX 5060 probably. But for a couple $100 more, you would, and you get the upgradability, but you also don't get a small box. It's going to be bigger. If you want to have something ITX, it's going to be more expensive, because by then you need, those motherboards are usually a little bit more expensive and stuff like that. The cases are more expensive. The small cases are more expensive than big cases. So it's like, is it too expensive? Everything is too expensive. Like Minis Forum and whatever, they release computers like this with similar performance and similar price points all the time. I think there are some mini PCs that are more expensive than this, that have the same performance, honestly, because they have integrated chips that are super powerful for integrated chips, but it doesn't. This is almost as compact as those, maybe a bit bigger. Honestly, it's neither here nor there. It's funny that this, just because there's Valve's name on this, it becomes a kind of a big thing. And it actually becomes kind of a big thing because it actually introduces people to something. There are many people, again, many people bought this just because it's the Steam machine. So they bought this. It's like, oh, but don't you have a game PC? Yes, I do. Couldn't you have made a micro ITX build and have this on your living room anyway? Yes, they could. But they want to have the Valve one. They want to have the one that's official. The gamers are like that, right? They want to have the AES Plus. Why? Well, because it's the AES Plus. That's why. Oh, but it's literally the same, it's literally the same logic that is running inside of a Mr. FPGA. It's literally the same bits that are coming out of the video signal, right? So why do you care which freaking manufacturer it is, if it's a generic console or it's the AES? People do care, right? You guys tell me, don't you care? People do care. Well, but it's the AES. It's not a Mister. When they look at something that looks like a PlayStation and is playing their Neo Geo games, it's not cool. It's not like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel the same. So if they have something that looks exactly like a Neo Geo and has the Neo Geo arcade stick and the Neo Geo cartridges, and that plays the Neo Geo, well, that's more fun to a lot of people. I'm not saying it's more fun to me. I don't think it's more fun. I don't care. But it is a fact. That's what attracts a lot of people, and that's what the Steam Machine is. And the entire discussion of the price of this, there are multiple ways of looking at it. But I think, like, objectively speaking, what I would like to say, if you want to buy something and want to play the newest games and you want to have good performance and you want to, in 2 years from now, still have that same machine and be playing the newest games. Imagine there comes out some whatever Spider-Man game that's super cool and you can run it at 4K 60 frames per second on a big TV with ray tracing and whatever, right? Don't buy this. Don't buy this because you'll be disappointed. This only has 8 gigs of RAM, and it's interesting because Valve has optimized SteamOS to run games better on 8 gigabytes than what Windows does. So that bottleneck of the 8 gigabytes of DDR6 VRAM is less of an issue on this than if you just had a gaming PC running Windows. It's an AMD thing. So what I'm saying is, yeah, okay, that bottleneck is not as terrible, but also at the same time, if you build your own gaming PC with an AMD graphics card, install Bazzite or SteamOS, you will also have that same benefit. So it's not nothing is exclusive to the Steam machine. You get it? It's generic hardware. It just happens to be made by Steam, but it's not like intrinsically different than running games on a different PC with similar parts. Okay, yeah, sure, more companies are gonna make their games specifically for this, but if they make their games specifically for this, they're gonna run better on a gaming PC that has an R5 7600 and an RX 7600 graphics cards in there. Especially if you get the 7600 XT that's 16 gigabytes. But even if it's not, because those have higher clocks, and they're the same part. And it's the same drivers, it's the same everything running, because again, it is SteamOS. It's not a different thing, it's the same SteamOS. You can download it from the web page and install on anything. But just make sure to go AMD. But if you get that PC with that CPU and with that GPU and 16 gigs of RAM and whatever, then in 2 years from now, when it's chugging and you're having problems, you can upgrade just the GPU. Or even take out that R5 7600 and put something like a 7600X3D in there, or a 7800X3D or whatever, a better processor, and change the graphics card and put extra sticks of extra storage in there without even removing the other one that's already in there, because you have more space. So again, of course, the PC has the big advantage over consoles of the upgradability without needing to get brand new hardware from scratch. But the Steam Machine doesn't have that. The Steam Machine is what it is. What you get is what you have, and what you'll always have until you sell it or something. You can't improve. You can change the disk, the NVMe hard drive, the SSD, but that's what you can do. You can change the SSD, but you can't add extra SSDs. You can put another stick of RAM in there or change the RAM, I think. I'm pretty sure you can. But how many slots does it have? That's the thing. But the truth is, the price is not terrible. People were expect. I don't know why. That's the problem with YouTube, man. Anyone can say whatever they want, right? And so people go speculating. And when you take a look, it's like, well, I mean, your speculation is completely off because you have no clue what you're talking about. People say, oh, this is going to be $500. Even if there was no RAM shortage or anything, this was never going to be $500. That was never on the table. This would have been like 700. That's what it would have possibly have been. Not less than that. But then with the RAM prices and everything, it goes to 1,000. Okay. Now, there's a different thing. Some people will say, well, just buy a PlayStation, because a PlayStation Pro is still cheaper than this and it is more powerful. Well, yeah, I mean, you can. Or you can buy this. Because even though you're paying a premium for this, but you are getting a premium. Because you are getting a PC. Right? And so this does have more flexibility than a console. You can install other operating systems, or you can change the RAM. You cannot change the RAM on a PlayStation. Not easily. You can change the hard drive. Yeah, okay, but that's as far as it goes. And I mean, if you prefer Steam as a platform, then it's gonna actually be worth the investment, spending the extra money, because it's not the same thing. But that's the point. It's like, oh, buy a PlayStation instead. No, don't. What? No, because it's not the same thing. This is a Steam machine and PlayStation are two different things. That's like saying, oh, look, the PlayStation 5 is $500, but the Xbox Series X is $100 cheaper on this store today because it's on sale. So I'll buy the Xbox instead of buying PlayStation. Like, okay, fine. I mean, $100 is considered a lot of money, but like, if you wanted a PlayStation, is it worth spending $100 less and getting a different console that is not the console that you wanted? Would you do that? Right? Would you pay less to have a console that is not the console you want? I wouldn't do that. I would rather spend the extra money, more money, and get the console that I want. So again, the argument, I don't know, that is kind of nonsensical. Oh, you can, yes, you can, but who are we talking to? It's like some kid wants to play Fortnite with a controller. They don't want to use mouse and keyboard. They are gonna sit on the couch, play on the TV with a controller. They'll play Minecraft and Fortnite. Well, I mean, does Fortnite even run on the Steam machine, right? So okay, maybe a different game, but they just want to play that a couple of these games with a controller, and then fine. I mean, get the one that's cheaper, buy those games on the store, and play the games, and you're good, right? But again, it's just, I don't. When you start making these specific arguments, I mean, what is the point of the argument, right? What is the point of telling a gamer that's watching, for example, my YouTube channel, someone watching my YouTube channel is gonna be either like a very strange person or an incredibly hardcore gamer, because this is such a deep cut. Like, you're going in the deep web to hear the opinion of some crazy random dude about this, right? So why would I tell you to go buy a PlayStation? Like, you know what a PlayStation is, you know how the games are distributed on PlayStation, you know what games are on PlayStation, right? And it's not the same game. Some of them are the same games, but it's not the same thing at all. And yes, I do think that if this is something you actually want, you can do worse than buy. Also, some people say it's like, okay, you know, I would rather buy the ultimate edition of the Neo Geo AES Plus than buying this for $1,000. Okay, fine. I mean, if you prefer that, if you want to play 10 Neo Geo games, fine. But if someone, let's say, someone is watching this on their cell phone, right, and they're asking themselves, "Oh, what should I buy?" Because I have a Nintendo Switch, and I don't like the Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm thinking, what should I buy as a console next? Or what should I buy, generally speaking, next? I love retro games. I love platformers and brawlers and whatever, right? And fighting games. What should I buy? I would tell that person, buy a Steam machine. And unless you abhor the idea of buying digital games or games on the store, and if that's a deal breaker for you, then obviously go for something else. But the truth is there are so many amazing games on the Steam store that will run on the Steam machine. It's underpowered, it's too expensive. Yeah, it's not too underpowered to run Crimson Clover, to run Batsugan, to run Dodonpachi, Mushihime-sama, Mushihime-sama, and Raiden, and the Capcom collections that I was showing, the Capcom Arcade Stadium stuff that's got a bunch of fucking brawlers and fighting games and all the kinds of thing. The Capcom fighting collection, the action belt action collection, whatever the name of the one with the brawlers is, right? There are so many. You can buy Final Vendetta for $15 or $20 instead of paying $400 for it on the MVS or the AES, right? And so, which is a better buy? Yeah, it's not even funny which one is yeah, obviously the Steam machine is 1,000 times a better buy than the Neo Geo AES if you just want to have a machine to play games. You can't even compare the two. The Steam machine is 1,000,000,000 times better, as in how many games you get for the price, right? Yeah, for $1,000, how many games you get? 0. You'll have to buy some games. You have to buy the Steam machine, and then you'll have to buy some games. So the entry point is gonna be higher. And yes, it's gonna connect to the internet. But I never lost Steam games. I have a bunch of Steam games that got delisted. You cannot buy them on the store anymore. One of them is the base version of Borderlands. But I still have access to the game. I can download and play the game because I bought it before it went out of the store. But I can still play it. The game Crimson Clover that I was just talking about, it's a shooter. It got an improved release. It was released again on the Steam store, and after a while they took the old version out of the Steam store and you cannot install it anymore. Let's just take a look at some things that are here. Okay. But I still have that game. I'm not sure whether this game is or not available to purchase on Steam, but I bought Dark Souls. And after I bought Dark Souls Prepare to Die edition, this is the Prepare to Die edition. Can you still buy this? I'm not sure you can still buy this or not. It's no longer available on the Steam store. You cannot buy the game. You see, it's delisted. But they don't take it out of the store. You can still play. I can still install the game. I will not do that because the remaster is better. But if you don't like the remaster, you prefer the original one, there are a few things that are a little bit better in the original one, But And generally speaking, the remaster is a lot better. Uh, but it's still here. It's not like that. Like, I know some companies take your games out and whatever. You can't download them anymore. I don't have that experience on Steam. Steam doesn't do that a lot. Maybe some game did that. I don't know. Okay, and if I'm not saying if what you want is an AES Plus and you don't want a Steam machine, that's not what I'm arguing at all. Right? That's not at all what I'm arguing. That I don't care what people buy or don't buy. It's not something that I'm here to tell anybody. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying that, of course, these are completely different products with completely different objectives. And even though it's overpriced, you can do a lot worse out there than buying a Steam machine. Especially if you are like me and all you want to play is old games. Because, the new games, the very new games that I play, they are 3 or 4 years old. And most of the games that I play, they are much older than that, or newer but indie games that you just take a look at the library of what is installed, right? Installed games ready to play. How do we do that? Install games ready to play. Let's get this grid view. No, of everything, not favorites, of everything. Oh man, shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, you know. Again, a bunch of old games and a bunch of arcade games, and the Steam machine is gonna run all of these games. Amazing. Yeah, okay, this is a very new game. This is like from this year, I guess. But it runs on a potato. It runs on a Nintendo Switch. And then again, these games all that are super easy to run. Uh, so that's it, right? It's a it's a good bad value proposition. It's only bad in two instances. One, it's bad if compared to building your own, right? So just be aware you are paying a premium for not having to build your own. You're paying a premium for the form factor. But is it an unreasonable premium? Are they ripping you off with the Steam machine? They're not. It's what it costs. That's what it is, man. You're gonna buy. Go around. See if you can find a mini PC that has a dedicated, and this exists, that have dedicated graphics cards and this amount of RAM and everything, and see if you can find one for less money. Because if you can, then buy that installed SteamOS. I don't know that there is that out there. If I look at the comment section and see if anyone finds it, and posts in there. Because if there is, then fine, I'll retract what I'm saying. But I don't think there are, because I knew the prices of these, and the ones that are $600, $700, they are not as powerful as this. Those are slightly older chips that are not the same performance. And so, again, the Steam machine has the problem that if you want to run the higher level stuff, the heavier stuff, the newer stuff, and the future stuff, it's not there and it's not upgradable. So a PC is better. And the other problem that the Steam machine has, it's just the upgradability and everything, right? But what else is there to say negative about it? What are the problems? I don't know. Price to performance is lower compared to consoles. Whatever, right? I mean, again, yeah, it's not the most economical thing out there. People were expecting Valve to save everyone. Why would they? It's not, I don't know, man. I find it strange that we're always We're always like this. We're always overhyping stuff that should never have been overhyped, because there was never anything special about this. And I'm not saying it's bad because of that. I'm just saying it's just a PC. It's just a, a specific form factor for a PC that's convenient. And it's priced as it needs to be, because again, Valve is not going to take a hit and lose money, especially not when they can sell out of this thing while still making money. So they're not dumb. And that's all there is to it. It's neither the savior of gaming, but it's also not, it's not bad, man. It's, I don't know, like it doesn't deserve any big hate, right? It is, I mean, you can do a worse build yourself depending on what components you choose and everything. My gaming notebook is more powerful than the Steam Machine because it has a 5060 in there. It's a newer graphics card, and that's more powerful, especially if it goes into ray tracing and that kind of stuff. And the processor is also newer, and but it only has 16 gigs of RAM, but I got two SSDs of 1 terabyte each. So, and the price was 1,300 euro, but that was because I bought it when I saw people saying the RAM prices, they're gonna go up and they're not gonna come back down again. So if you need to buy something, buy it now, because it's gonna be really bad and it's not gonna get better in 6 months. And now people are saying again, the contracts are being made and things are happening that are showing, it's not gonna be better in 6 months. Like, don't think like, oh, I'm not gonna buy a PC today. I can wait 6 months and then the prices are gonna come down and I can buy it again. It's like, no, the prices are gonna stay where they are. This stuff is not going down, not in 6 months. We don't know when, but not too soon. Apparently, at least. I don't really know. So that's it. Those are my thoughts. I mean, it's fine. It's fine if you can get your hand on one. If you can grab one, if you get to pre-order one or whatever. If you have the money, I wouldn't break the piggy, break the bank and buy this with my last money. But yeah, it's fine. If you already have a PC, if you already have everything, and you just have $1,000 burning in your pocket, and you need to spend $1,000, and you don't know what to get, I would say get the AES Plus over this. If you already have a way to play Steam games, and you just want to spend $1,000, if I wanted to spend $1,000, I don't want to spend $1,000, but if I wanted to spend $1,000, I would buy the AES Plus over this, because this in 10 years from now, it's gonna be outdated. The AES Plus, it might break, but it will never be outdated. It will never grow old, because if it didn't by now, 30 years later or 25 years later, it will never get old, right? I mean, in 10 years from now, you can still use the Steam Machine and play the games, but there's gonna be something better, smaller, cheaper, something, right? A Neo Geo is a Neo Geo. It's it's something that will be there, and probably will take longer to break, at least the base console, than the Steam Machine. The Steam Machine, I don't know, 10 years maybe, and then it's gonna crap out something. At least the thermal paste. You can just open it and change the thermal paste. It's fine. But I'm just saying, this stuff, it feels old. It ages poorly, right? Do you still have your 10-year-old gaming PC? Probably not. I don't. I mean, I have it, but I don't use it, right? But the AES Plus is a collectible, is a cool thing, and if you just want to waste your money, I think it's a better way of wasting your money. And with that, I'll end the video. I'm not recommending anything, but I'm just saying. It's what I think. Thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you think. Most of you already did, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.